What's going on, guys? Just had another baby, so I got a few days off and can get out here into the shop while he's taking his naps and everything. But this thing, I mean, I haven't made too many videos about it because really once the final video that I posted up, I mean, it was pretty well done, just tweaking little things here and there. And today I'm going to be addressing the belt. I got to do a brake job on it. And I also replaced all the spark plug wires on it. So got new wires in there, so I should not have the problem. I did see a obvious problem with the old ones. It was rubbed in half and everything. But I'm actually using the Caltrick gasket on this thing, and it is not leaking one bit. As you can see, I mean, that's still, what, after 3 or 4 rides, mud and water and everything, and it's not leaking at all. So Caltrick has got a very good belt box gasket for like 10 bucks, I think it is. OMC is working great on the Razor, working great on Kevin's stuff, and it's, I mean, but this is a great alternative. So anyways, I put a new belt on it. I did take the Razor belt, the Razor S belt, and I tried to put it on here because then again, it is still an 800. It did not work. There is not enough space in here. It's too tight. And so it pulls. I mean, it pulls and grabs great, but I went back just to try it out with the actual belt that's made for this one. I mean, yeah, it sounds feasible that that's what I should do, but anyways, that's the part number 19G3982, and this is that 42421 or whatever it is, 424G4022. So that's just gonna be a spare for the Razor. I'm gonna throw on this belt, and it should do pretty good. So got the rear brake pads changed out on this. Finally wiring up my rear light bar here. And Kevin stopped by. He is going to River Run this weekend with everyone else.
Except you.
Except me. But just doing a quick front diff fluid change and a whole new brake caliper right here on his. The other one was sticking and bent a little bit, so took care of that. I actually got a new brake caliper over there on that side. Also on this one, I went through and replaced both ball joints, or not ball joints, new U-joints on the drive shaft, and replaced this axle with the Rhino. And what else we do? New starter. Starter's getting hung up, so put a new starter on there, and this thing is running and performing great. So Kevin finally got the bolt done.
After 5 years.
After 5 years. And this is what I use for the front diff fluid. Good stuff there. Over here on this ball joint though, the nut backed off and fell off. It pretty well broke. It was kind of weird getting back on there to begin with, so ended up just taking a bigger nut and sliding over it, and then just welding the nut to that to the stud just to get it through for the ride. So I got 2 brand new ball joints. I think I'm going to replace that wheel bearing also. And the front differential was stayed locked into 4-wheel drive, and it was doing that the past 2 rides. I don't really think I replaced the armature plate when I went in there. I really can't remember, but also with that diff being kind of a, you know, custom in a way, and trying different things without the ADC. I mean, it's just trial and error. And then there's those new spring spacers, just a simple bolt on. I mean, they're not powder coated or anything like that, nothing fancy. So yeah, and I'll get to some of the other stuff I'm doing. It's actually right there. It's completely stupid, but you'll see it here in a little bit. Making good progress. Got both these struts out, and I've been holding off on a while to do it, but I finally just cut those out because with the radiator being on there, I just don't want to take the radiator off and on, drain all the coolant and everything to do it. So the thing wasn't sealed obviously anyway, so just go ahead and cut those out. It saves up everything. I mean, so got the roll pin knocked out, waiting for the fluid to drain out. The fluid's clean, so it's not like my fluid was any kind of dirty or anything, but I'm about to pop out the diff bolt, slide the diff out, and that's it. I mean, it was just as simple as I thought it would be, as far as to just grind that bolt off, enough to drop it off, and then I don't think I have too much damage with that. If anything, I'll just ream that back out a little bit so it sits a little bit. It might have to sit a little bit farther up on the bevel of the new ball joint, but other than that, no big deal. As you can see right there, the inner race is still stuck to that hub, and it's been like that for a ride or two, but the bearings look clean. That's why I just kept on running it. So I started looking into my front differential as to why it was locked in four-wheel drive. Originally I thought it was a sprag, or the armature plate here, but this thing is level. It's not bending, it's not bent at all. It's got beautiful wear marks all the way around. That's why I kept this one in there originally. So then I pulled out the cage here, and this is a niche plate. Their H clips suck. What it is that, you see how spread apart these are right here? Let me get this part so they focus better. These are all spread apart. There's no give in it. These two right here are out of the original cage. I got the metal one, that way I wouldn't have to get back in this front differential, and here I am back into it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the clips out of here and put into this, because the way they have it set up, that right there, there's no give, it's just sitting in there. And that way these rollers are always engaged and making that full drive work. But when I put in the factory clips, there's some spring in there. Of course, it's not going to be seated right because it's got nothing pressed against, but it's seated in there, and so it's bouncing out. So that's going to disengage my four-wheel drive. Okay, so change of plans. Apparently this one's a little bit different, so I put the other clips back into the cage here, and I ended up just taking the little prongs and pinching them so it's got a bigger curve on it, and put those back in. It seems to, I mean, they're definitely popping out now. I don't know if you can see that down in there, like that one there. Actually got some tension on these now. So I'm gonna run with that. I got the new Super ATV Sprag. It seems a little bit thicker, a little heavier duty. So we'll see how that works, but it'll just slip into that. The hubs here, and I mean these hubs weren't in the best of shape. They still aren't. So hopefully that's not the issue, but now it'll turn. This will lock in. I mean I can't just freely turn this one now anymore, so put the cover back on, give it a little bench test. Okay, so I'm going to say all this quick. Got all new ball joints and everything. The way I get the old ones out is just weld a bolt to it, and then I put on my slide hammer with a couple nuts welded to the slide hammer, and that way I can just pull these out, yank these out. I think you saw it in another video when I was building Kevin's 800. And then this is just a, I believe it's off of a door handle. Anyways, well, that inner lip, when you go press the new ones in, fits perfectly over that, and that's what I use to drive them back into there. And also torque that. Got new wheel bearings in there all the way around. When I pulled off the old wheel bearing, the reason why I replaced that is because the inner race kept on getting stuck in there, and I guess the previous guy jacked that side up and that side up right there. Anyways, to get, when this is, your inner race is stuck onto that shaft there, you just have to get something that going between here, you know, and just work your way around. Keep hitting on this lip right here until this thing just keeps on rocking up, and then it'll finally come out. Or you could just cut it off. I try not to cut it off because I don't like grooving this, even though I guess that is grooved. Anyway, so this is all sanded down. Everything fits nicely now. The front diff is all working fine. I just bench tested it on the Razor, putting a 12-volt lead right there, and it kicks in beautifully, and it retracts fine, taking it out of four-wheel drive. So this is for the ADC, which I'm not using, so I was just testing it out, see if I could cut these and it won't affect anything, which it will. So all this wire is going to come out for the ADC. Simple as that. And yeah, so rebuilt struts, rebuilt front diff, rebuilt hubs. So throw this all back in and it'll be ready to go.